Hi, I'm back with another review. This one is Silent Voices by Patricia Gibney. I did a blog tour for this title. I think I did it on February 7th, 2 days ago. Even though this book has already the review has already been published on my blog, I did want to share it with you because in case you haven't heard of this title or this author or this series, I'm here to tell you about it. Silent Voices is by Patricia Gibney. It's the 9th book in the Detective Inspector or D.I. Lottie Parker series. Yes, I have read all of the previous titles, reviewed all of the previous titles, and loved all the previous titles. And I enjoyed this one as well. I gave this one 4 stars. It was really good. A little bit about Lottie Parker. Lottie has 3 children, 2 adults and 1 teen, and she's also a grandmother. And she has been through a very difficult time in her life, but she had a second chance at love with a Detective Boyd, somebody from one of the officers that she works with, and they are finally getting married. And if you read any of the books in this series, you will know that Boyd had cancer, had chemotherapy, and everything that they were going towards was being ripped away from them. And now Boyd is recovered, he's back at work, and they actually have a wedding date. However, what happens? They're detectives, so there's another case right on their hands. And in this case, it's about the murder of a young woman named Rachel, who was found dead the morning after a party by her twin sister. And when Lottie and her team start to investigate, they notice that there's a peculiar piece of evidence on Rachel's body. And Lottie knows that this piece of evidence is definitely the key to the killer's identity. The question is, will Lottie be able to find the killer, and will they be able to solve this case and get to the bottom of everything in time for their wedding to take place? And then while they're investigating people and asking questions and interviewing people, one person that comes into play is a young woman named Maddie. And this woman makes a very big impression on Boyd. I think Maddie was like 15 years old. Boyd became very distracted with Maddie because her living circumstances were deplorable. It was heartbreaking. And everybody that I have talked to that have read this book so far, Maddie was their absolute favorite character, and I highly agree with that. And I loved Maddie, and I understand. Well, actually, in my review, I said, what is it about Maddie that draws Boyd's attention so much? There's something very significant and very touching about that. And I love how both Boyd and Lottie worry very much about Maddie and her safety. And it's just an incredible story. So, it was fast-paced because of trying to solve the murder, and then there's the drama with, will the wedding be able to take place? And then there's young Maddie, and then there's something else about Maddie. I was kind of hesitant because I'm like, should I mention it? Yeah, I'm going to mention it. Maddie had a very special relationship with her young nephew, Trey. He's 2 years old, and the connection Maddie and Trey had, I think it was worth mentioning. So it's a very, very multi-layered story. How Boyd gets along with Maddie's children, and it was just it's a very, very good book and a great series. And I have to read the next book because Patricia Gibney left us with a cliffhanger. I'm not crazy about cliffhangers, but that's okay because I know the next book is going to be equally as good. So there we have it. Silent Voices by Patricia Gibney. I encourage you to read it. I'll put the link in the description below, and maybe you'll do like me and want to read every previous book in the series. And if so, happy reading. Bye-bye.